because I'm not in the picture. So once we get in, I cut it out on YouTube.
Okay, because I just got to walk in and I got to start the recording. We still got 3 minutes. But yeah, that's some grind stuff.
Alright, you said you got an email to me?
Yeah, I emailed it to you. Just pull it up because it has all the right definition, all the stuff that you
An
need.
AOL, you emailed it to me?
Yeah.
I don't have it.
You don't have it? Check your Remax. Why are you waiting till the last minute to do it?
Why? I don't have my Remax on my computer. Oh, there it goes. Why isn't it on here? Script. Why don't I have it on here? Oh, actually, I do have it on my Remax. My Remax is right there. I forgot I have all my inboxes on here. Here we go. There's no attachment.
There should be. You sure?
Yeah,
Alright.
there's no.
What is going on?
Oh, yeah, there is. Introduction.
It's the same introduction and all that stuff.
Well, now we should talk about ourselves a little bit.
Alright, here we go.
That time.
Let's give some information.
Alright.
Alright, do you see them at the bottom where it says short sale? It starts short sale,
Yeah.
special conditions applicable. And look, I'm gonna pass it on to you, so I'm gonna say tonight we're gonna be discussing a bunch of stuff, including our topic of the night, special condition properties. And when I get down to the end of that, I'm gonna say, that they're going to get a steal. What do you think about that? Like, you know, most people look at short sales foreclosures or those HUDs because they think that they're gonna get a killer deal
Okay, I
right
got
away.
some stuff to
And then
say
you
about
can
that.
jump
I
in,
don't
and then
wanna
I'll
read-
jump in. I'm not gonna read it verbatim, but you're gonna say what actually is a you know, a short sale and what goes into a short sale. And then I'll go into this, you know.
Hey, we're
Yeah.
about to roll. You clammy? Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
We still got a minute.
I didn't initiate that.
Second. Over louder.
All right.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Reality Real Estate. My name is Steven Luchansky. I'm a local real estate agent here in the Lehigh Valley with Remax Central, and I am here with my co-host, Eric Rothenberger. Why don't you introduce yourself, Eric?
Hello, how you doing? This is Eric Rothenberger from Remax Central as well. This is Reality Real Estate. Today's show, I think we're going to go just give a little bit in depth how we became, what led us to being realtors before we get into the topic. So I started off in the fast food industry, like a lot of people when they become teenagers and they need their first job. So started off at Taco Bell when I was 15.
Go Bell.
Yeah, go Bell, go Bell. I stayed there for about 7 years
Yeah.
while I was getting my degree in electronics. moved my way up pretty quick in the fast food industry. I became a general manager while I was getting my degree. Got my degree, got into the field of electronics. Found out pretty quickly that it just wasn't for me. A lot of wasted money on college.
I don't think you're the only person in this area that feels that they wasted their money on college.
No, not at all, not at all. Like I said, found out very quickly that the electronics field was not for me. A little bit of a transition. I jumped into a year of laboring with my brother. He's a stonemason for the past decade or so. Found out very quickly that that was definitely not for me.
That's definitely not for you.
Then I had the opportunity, getting laid off from my electronics job, I had the opportunity to kind of get my feet wet a little bit in real estate. And, never looked back since. It was a little hard in the beginning, but it all paid off and I'm happy. And now, we're putting together this platform, a radio show to, get our experiences out there, get real estate facts, statistics out there, and also to our networking partners, give them a platform as well to share their business, with the Lehigh Valley surrounding areas and beyond. So you want to tell the listeners a little bit about how you, what direction got you to real estate?
Yeah, I mean, I was born and raised in the Lehigh Valley area. I've been here pretty much all my life. I moved away in high school for a few years, but I actually, I moved back into the area, and I met the girl that I had my children with. So I was kind of at the point where I needed to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and I really had no idea. I came from a restaurant background as well. I did a lot of work in cooking, and I worked in probably every restaurant in the Lehigh Valley, and that was where I started at working. But I quickly realized that I needed to do something different than work in the kitchen when I was having a baby.
Absolutely.
Me and my ex, we don't get along to this day, but at the same time, she was the person that pushed me into construction. She said, you might like it, this and that, and I jumped in.
So you have a construction background, is what you're saying?
I do. I pretty much have worked in every different trade there is in construction. I started out as a laborer, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I loved creating, just creating something and being able to see a product of my work at the end of the day. And it was not at first, because I started off as a laborer for a year or two, and all I did was clean up job sites all day.
Does your construction background help you in the real estate industry?
Yeah, of course it does. It gives me a lot of insight on properties and what's needed for the properties, what's going to need to be done in the properties, and I'm able to give my clients a lot of different advice on what they should and shouldn't put into.
Did you wear suspenders like you are today during your
I did in the construction. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that I didn't. I'm not going to say that I didn't, because I was actually a new home framer. I framed new homes during the real estate boom, and I had a pair of Carhartt overalls, and they had the suspenders on. They're the most comfortable things that are out there.
Suspenders.
What about them?
Are they in or are they out?
You know what the thing is? I've come to realize I hate belts.
You hate belts?
I hate belts. I go through probably 10 belts in a matter of a year, and I pay $30, $40 for a belt, and it just doesn't work out right. I just don't. I like the suspenders.
So you're wearing suspenders to substitute for a belt?
For the belt, absolutely. And they're not technically suspenders. They're more of like hold-ups. They're not actual suspenders.
They look like suspenders.
They're not actuals.
And if you haven't noticed, I mean, what we're doing to show it is reality real estate.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking real estate, obviously.
Eric's going to be busting on my outfit weekly.
Oh,
busting
absolutely.
on everything about me weekly.
Absolutely.
So look forward to that.
Oh, absolutely. We do have statistics, we do have facts, but obviously, sometimes that can get a little boring to the naked eye and to the naked ear.
Yeah.
Well,
I do, because we are recording.
Yes.
We're recording our shows each week now, so you can see all the fun that we have in the studio.
All the fun and
week.
Excitement.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I do like that you cut the peaks off of.
I did. I got a haircut, and I shaved.
Yes.
I did.
And November's not over, so you've.
Yeah, but I've shaved long before. You said something yesterday to me about it. What do you think? That's all I grow? Is that little bit from yesterday? All month? I mean, just because some of us aren't so fortunate in that department.
Listen.
I shaved about 5 times this month so far.
Listen. I don't have to pay a lot of money for razors.
That's
I don't
true.
use a lot of shaving cream. I have the same shaving cream probably for the last year and a half.
Wow,
Okay?
I go through about a bottle of it a month, probably a month and a half.
That's just,
maybe.
hey, listen.
Yeah, but anyway,
I have a true baby face. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you know, this platform, nothing's off topic. You know, we're going to be talking about anything and everything. You know, also along with real estate as well, obviously. We'll have some news tips, some news facts, some breaking news. Sometimes we'll have celebrity news.
I have some stuff coming up tonight. There's a couple things, you know, local things.
Did you cook up some stuff? Huh?
Well,
Yeah?
I saw a couple, you know, articles in the newspaper that I really want to talk about because I think that they're, you know, it's important to know the things that are happening in our local area. I don't really want to go in. I'm not personally going to go into a whole lot of news from outside of this area,
Okay.
unless it's pretty much important to everybody in the United States or the world.
Why don't you tell the listeners how they can reach out to us if they want to call in, if they have questions, if they want to email us during the show,
Absolutely.
we can answer questions
Yeah.
if you email us during the show. How can they, if they miss our show, how can they listen,
Mhm.
you know, tomorrow, the next day, listen to a previous show?
Yeah.
You know, go ahead and give that information.
All right. Well, first off, to call us on the show, you can call in the show during the entire hour, talk with us, you know, chat a little bit, ask any questions that you might have, and just discuss, you know, some random topics if you'd like. And you can call us at the studio. It's 484-294-3492. That's the number here in the studio, so you can call right into that. Also, you can visit us over on our Facebook fan page, and that's www.facebook.com/Reality Real Estate Radio Show. Or you can also send us an email at realityrealestateradio@gmail.com, and you can send us over an email. We're monitoring that, so we can make sure that if there's any questions that come through, and we want to definitely get out an apology for the person that sent in that email last week talking about the properties in Allentown and that whole situation. So
Well, that kind of sparked us to our topic today.
exactly.
Before I start, you know, anybody can call into the show. You know, if you have a business out there
Mhm.
and you want to get your business out there and you want to promote it on our show, or if you want to come into our show, contact either one of us, contact us on our fan page.
Yeah, send us an email to that realityrealestateradio@gmail.com.
And we'll set something up, get you on the show. Before we dive into our topic, I just want to say hello to my daughter, Kaylin. You know, I'm sure she's listening. Give a little shout out to my girlfriend, Shalene. She's a hairdresser at Split Ends. You know, anybody needs a hairstylist, she's the best. But let's dive into our topic. What is our topic today?
Our topic for the night tonight is special condition properties.
In other words, distressed properties.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about short sales, foreclosures, REO, and HUD properties, and what makes them different for the good and for the bad. So let's just get right into it.
So is there a term? I know that you got the email from the lady last week, and she called it
blighted properties.
Blighted
properties. Yes. Actually, you know what? Let's ask Alfonso to jump in here with us and talk a little bit about the blighted properties, because he's up to date on a lot of things that are, you know, happening downtown and things that are happening with the whole situation with these properties.
Blighted is that was a term that was given to properties that are supposed to be uninhabitable, or properties that are dangerous.
Okay.
For civilians, too dangerous for civilians to live in, to dwell around, and so, you know, and they were created by the broken window. I don't know if I can't remember the fellow's name, but it was created by the broken window theory, where it says that any property that's in a neighborhood can bring down the property value.
Right, and it does.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so what happened is that a lot of cities across the nation were needing to find out, you know, because unfortunately there's a lot of renters who don't live in town. So what they would do, unfortunately, they would get renters who, unfortunately, we know renters don't take care of their property like owners should.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not saying all renters are bad, and I don't want to say that.
Right.
But there are certain renters that when they come in,
They don't treat it as their own all the time.
exactly. So
necessarily.
they let the grass grow, they let things go, trash, things of that nature, and unfortunately the property owner, either he doesn't know or he could care less, and thus the city, they needed to do something about that. You know, they were splitting homes that were supposed to be one dwelling homes, you know, renting out rooms, you know, splitting it in half, and, you know, not getting permission, and thus the city said, hey, we need to do something about it. So they started sending inspectors, and lo and behold, when they would go in, they would see all kind of
lots of issues.
You know,
not having the home
right.
inspected, things
like that. And
so when did you start hearing a lot about the blighted properties?
I know here in Allentown, there's a huge issue with a lot of the homeowners who don't live here. They live in New York.
And there's a lot of them. I mean, what is Allentown? Probably about 70%?
40%.
40% all
homeownership.
Okay.
That's very.
So there's 60% is investments.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's huge. That's huge, and that tells you, you know, that just shows that there's not enough people out there that are living that life of homeownership and gaining those benefits of being a homeowner.
True.
When there's so many avenues to make it happen that a lot of people just don't know that they can.
Well, that's why I appreciate you all, because you all are educating people. Because, you know, even in 2013, some people think home ownership is above and beyond.
Yeah, especially coming out of the recession we were in. Absolutely. You know, people are like, there's no way I'm going to be able to buy property. And they'd be surprised at how it's actually loosened. You know, over the last year, things are starting to settle down a little bit. Interest rates are still great. Not to say that they're going to be here, you know, after the next 2 or 3 years.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I got some statistics here that, you know, basically show that there is a positive gain or percentage gain from, you know, last year to, you know, the basically the end of this year, as far as growth. So, you know, that's definitely good. It's definitely good. It's showing that, you know, something's going on, something, you know, we're getting some positive numbers.
I mean, I don't know about you, but we're in the very end of November. And, you know, granted, I'm not crazy, but I'm busier than I normally am in November.
Let me ask you this, and as realtors, we deal with this. When someone calls you and says to you, hey, I want to see, you know, this property on, you know, 627 or 600 block of 2 Street. And you look it up and it's a foreclosure and it's listed at $30,000. Right? Now, as realtors, you have to understand every single transaction we have to put the same amount of work.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a $500,000 house, a $200,000 house, a $100,000 house, or a $30,000 house.
Now, we don't usually talk about our financials, how much money we make off of a deal.
Right.
Well, why don't you give them an example of what the difference is in our commission from a $30,000 house to a $150,000 house?
Well, I'm not going to give exact.
What would be the differences in that cost? And I just want to show you that, but at the end of the day, you have to treat every single deal as though it's that high-end deal. You have to, because, and I'll give you an example. I sold a property to a girl. Her name was Chelsea. She was great, you know, great client to deal with. You know, we did a really good job for her. We got it done in a very quick amount of time, and she gave me a referral. She gave me a referral the other day, and it was for a client that's working with. It's called the Hoop program.
Right.
And
I'm very familiar with that.
She's qualified for a low number.
Right.
You know, but you know what? That doesn't matter. It didn't matter to me that if she was qualified for $20,000, $40,000, $60,000.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me because that's a referral, and that means more to me than anything.
And a realtor's business, I mean, basically our business is working off referrals.
Yeah,
and
we live for that.
And I'll tell you what, I mean,
referral calls.
To give you some quick numbers off the top of my head here, I mean, you know, now we do have a company we work for, which is Remax Central, and obviously, you know, a portion of our commissions go to Remax.
Absolutely, office fees, desk fees.
Exactly.
You know, we pay a lot of money to be in this business.
Oh, absolutely. So when you look at it, you know, to give you an estimate, a $30,000 house, all right, a realtor's commission off of a $30,000 house is probably anywhere around $500 to $600.
Yeah, after fees are all. Yeah.
After fees, you know, and that's not to mention the taxes that we have to pay on that.
And then we're paying out 20-25% taxes on top of that.
So that's off of a $30,000 house. $250,000 house, our commission now jumps to about $4,500 to $4,800.
Yeah. So there's a pretty big difference.
There's a huge difference there, and we have to put the same amount of time, and we do, you know, into those homes. But there are not a lot of realtors
No.
that do sell, lower distressed, lower, properties.
I'm
lower
the
priced
second.
properties.
The story I was just telling you about. I'm the second realtor now, and I gotta tell you, I would say about 4 or 5 of my deals came from that this year of being the second realtor.
Right.
Of working with somebody that's discouraged.
Right.
I said this is never going to happen.
Right.
With this woman, I'm not going to give out any names or anything like that because I would never put any other real estate agent down.
Right.
I wouldn't do that. It's not
Well,
the way
it's
that I am.
unethical.
It's on absolutely, and
We don't want to be.
am.
We do not want to be unethical.
You know how I
Yeah.
feel about ethics.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, so this client of mine calls me up. She says, "I got your number, your name and number from my friend Chelsea. She told me 6 times now, call this guy, call this guy, call this guy." And I already had somebody that was designated to me when I went and got my certification from the HOOP program. So there was already a realtor that worked with that program.
When you're talking about the HOOP program, do you know the facts of it? I mean, what's?
I'd like to get. I could probably get some more information by the end of the show, but it's pretty cut and dry. It's a funded program that offers. They pay the closing costs.
From what I understand, it helps
And you
out
have to,
with.
you have to stay in the property for a certain amount of time.
Yes.
It's not buying it as an investment or buying it to flip it or anything like that. You're buying it as a home, and it's for first time. It's one of the programs that's not. And again, keep in mind, none of these programs are just for first time home buyers, but it's a first time home buyer program. It's something that they would use.
So, before we, again, we'll dive into some statistics and some information that was researched.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that buyers, they hear about all these foreclosures and they see these things, these clips, these ads, oh, buy a house for less than you can rent. Oh, buy this house or get this house for $5,000
Mm-hmm.
or, what have you. So do you feel a lot of buyers are looking specifically for these deals
Yes.
out there?
Yes, I
Do you
think a
think
lot
that's
of
always
buyers
the
are
best case?
misled. I think a lot of the buyers are misled, and I would say probably 80% of the people that contact me say, we're looking for a short sale, we want a foreclosure, that's the only type of property we want to look at.
And we'll go
and-
into the differences between foreclosure, short sales, estate
But
properties.
people are very misled by the fact of
Just
a
cut
short
me off,
sale.
buddy.
Well, you know what? I was just thinking.
Yeah.
I never even got to finish the story about
Well,
the
go
lady.
ahead, go ahead.
The lady
Finish the
was.
story.
It was
Finish the
60.
story.
She was approved for a certain amount of money.
Okay,
The current real estate. At first, she was approved for up over 100,000.
okay.
Now it lowered down to a certain amount that she was approved for. And what happened is the real estate agent stopped answering her phone calls
Because it was low property.
because it was a lower end
Yep.
property, and she just didn't want to deal with it.
That
And I
happens
said,
so
you know what?
often.
And I said to her, you know what? I don't care how much the property is.
Right.
I said, I don't care if it was $20,000. I said, all I care about is Chelsea gave you me as a referral, and if I make you happy, then I make her happy, and that's keeping the chain of
I'll
referral happy.
I'll tell you one little tidbit of information that I'm sure you'll agree with me on.
Mm.
When somebody comes in and they want to possibly look at $30,000 to $40,000 properties.
Mhm.
Now, not in every single case, but a lot of the times, if they come in and say, "Listen, I want to finance a $30,000 property,"
Mm.
a lot of them don't realize a large percentage of them are not financeable.
Yeah.
And explain what that means.
Explain why a lot of them aren't financed.
A lot of these homes.
A lot of
being-
times it would go into, I'm not sure exactly what you're getting
Well,
at, but I'm thinking
being
where
at a
you're coming
$30,000
from.
property and being a foreclosure.
Okay.
A lot of the heat's not.
Oh,
on.
you mean
A
as
lot
far
of
as
the-
different programs that the banks
Right.
offer
They're-
and not
they're
being
only-
able to lend on?
Well, no, they're only going to be accepting cash on a lot of these properties because
Absolutely,
of
yeah.
how distressed and how destroyed they are.
Yeah.
Did I catch you off guard there?
You did. I wasn't
Okay.
sure that what you were talking
But
about.
now you're back on track.
Yeah, I'm looking at more because there's a lot of times you're on the border. You're on the border of am I going to get a personal loan to pay for a $20,000-$30,000
Oh, yeah,
property,
'cause,
or am I
I
going to
mean,
go and get a mortgage?
I'll tell you what.
You know.
If a property is that low,
Mm.
a lot of the times there's so much damage
Yeah.
that nothing's working.
Yeah.
And for you to go FHA
Mm.
or conventional or any type of financing, the bank's just not going to lend on a property that they don't know the heat's working, they don't know the roof's good,
And,
you have
and-
all the windows there.
That's another thing that you bring up that's good too. FHA, and that's it's a backed mortgage, and that's something that a lot there other specific areas won't lend. FHA won't lend to.
Right.
because of declining values on properties.
Right.
They don't, it's unsteady, it's unstable. I know a building, the Riverport complex in Bethlehem, FHA won't loan on any of those units. It's conventional cash.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that they have units in there that are selling for $150,000 that were sold for $260,000 5 years ago.
Right.
So that's an example of declining market inside that building that people are concerned and scared about, that are saying, and that's why FHA won't loan on those, because they're not going to back those types of loans.
Right. Right.
Conventional is more of, that's on you. We're not
Right.
giving you any breaks. You're putting down payment down. You're paying you're doing conventional.
I'll dive a little bit into some Lehigh Valley statistics. Foreclosures, short sales, and estate properties, or estate sales. This year, so far, okay, and this is just, how many that are out there. There's 112 foreclosures that are out there. 317 short sales, and 144 estate properties, or estate sales.
Yeah.
That's 569 distressed properties out of 3,500 properties that are listed. So
Yeah.
roughly in the Lehigh Valley and Northampton area and surrounding areas. Lehigh, I did a look up on Lehigh County and Northampton County. Of those two counties, 16% of the market is distressed properties.
Wow.
So, is that a large number? A lot larger than it used to be. Over the last couple of years. I think now we're declining. I'm sorry, we're lowering that percentage a little bit. I think last year was closer to 18 or 19%. And downtown Allentown specifically, of those 569, 135 of those were downtown Allentown.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have to be $30,000 properties.
Yeah.
I did a look up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be $400,000 or $500,000.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That the highest property on the market right now that's a distressed property is $575,000. So that goes to show you, it's not just downtown Allentown. It's not South Bethlehem. It's not certain parts of different towns. Everywhere people come into financial situations, they lose their property. And I've been in properties in nice areas that are foreclosures that are absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
Destroyed.
Oh, yeah. Well, they usually are, because the problem is that by the time it gets to a foreclosure status, it's been so neglected that it's not even, it's just, then at that point it becomes real estate owned. Yeah,
and what happens is when a homeowner stops paying, when a homeowner stops paying, not all the time, but they stop caring.
Yes. Yeah.
And once they stop
seeing
caring,
value.
Absolutely. Because when you're not paying for something, you no longer have that appreciation for it. And someone can live in a home for 1 year, 2 years. Who knows how long the bank is going to let them go not paying. Before it even gets to that foreclosure status. So by the time it gets to a foreclosure, they stop paying for, let's say, a year and a half. Then they move on. Stop caring.
Cutting the grass.
Stop cutting the grass. Let their dogs do whatever they want. Move on. Then it becomes a foreclosure. Sits maybe over a winter, 2 winters. What do you think that property is going to look like by the time somebody gets in there? Yeah,
I mean, this is the problem. The problem is that, we're going to get into all of this a little bit more technical, but for right now, as far as when a property, first, when someone stops paying on their mortgage, they have an option to apply for a short sale. Okay?
Right.
And I'll just jump into just a real quick little bit about a short sale. And basically, a short sale is when a lender agrees to do basically accept less than the total amount due on the property. Now, not all lenders will accept short sales or discounted payoffs, especially if it would make more financial sense to foreclose on them.
Right.
So, they're really taking into consideration. It's a process, which I'm going to go through. I think it's important. I don't want to sit here and I don't want to read from, this and that. I don't want to, bore anybody, but I want to go through the process and tell you, anybody out there that could be listening, what the process is and how you can get started right away on applying to put your property in a short sale status. But anyway, so now I give you a little the definition of a short sale. What happens if you don't choose to do a short sale? The house goes to foreclosure. It's going to go to a foreclosure auction. What they're looking to get is they start the auction bid at the amount that's owed on the property. Okay. When they don't get the amount that's owed on the property, which they normally don't.
Right.
That's when it's going to be taken back, repossessed, and it goes back to the bank and then out to and it's considered real estate owned, and it's actually held on the bank's books as an asset.
And is that what's called an REO?
Yes. And then it's an REO, which is real estate owned, meaning that the bank has possession of property. But what happens is the bank usually gives those out to special REO agents and brokerages that specialize in REO properties. And they actually, what they have to do is they actually take possession of the properties. They're responsible for the upkeep of the properties. They're responsible to make sure that the properties are winterized and the pipes aren't freezing.
Now
Like
explain what it means to be winterized, because I had some clients, I was taking through some properties today, and you know, a lot of the water was off. You know,
Okay.
they had little stickers on the faucets. And,
What you
and
do,
what have you.
what you're going to do is when you're winterizing a property, you're going to take what I used to do, because I did this a lot before when I was in my construction company. I did a lot of real estate construction work. What we do is we go into the property, we drain all the pipes, flush all the toilets, get all the water that we can out of there. Next step is what we'll take some antifreeze, and we'll actually put that down into the toilets, into the sinks, just in the drain there.
Okay.
And then we put plastic over the toilets with a sticker that says winterized on it, so no one accidentally uses the bathroom
Right.
or does anything or uses the water or anything like that.
Right.
Now, there's another way to go about it if you're not ready to fully winterize your property. Turn the water on a slow drip.
Right.
If you turn your water on a slow drip, it's going to continuously run the water. You're going to want to do warm water, of course, but you're gonna run that water continuously through, and that's gonna help you a lot with not having the pipes freeze. So if you're not ready to winterize it yet, but you don't want the pipes to freeze, and you don't want to keep running your heat, you can do that. You can run the water real light.
And what are some drastic scenarios if you don't winterize a property?
Oh man,
or do it properly.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen foreclosures, and back in my construction days, I've seen, even not in my construction days, in my real estate days, I've seen so far really messed up situations where properties were let go, they weren't winterized in time, and that's another problem. Because by the time the bank goes through the foreclosure auction and actually takes possession of the property, it's so long. And if you're doing that process going into winter, I mean, you're pretty much you're toast, because no one's going to even pay attention to the property. You know what I mean? They're
Right.
too busy worrying about the paperwork on it to worry about if the pipes are freezing. And you could be dealing with a bank that's from, the person that bought out the loan could be across the country. You know what I mean? The person that's actually the bank that's dealing with this. So, they're not, the property's usually not right down the street from them where they're like, oh, we got to worry about our asset. You know what I mean? This is, so that there's major ramifications for not winterizing the property. So as far as did you want to? I mean, do you want to go over any other? I mean, we could jump back and forth, but I want to go through the process here.
Real
quick
before you do that, just give some national statistics for foreclosures. 1,554,000 foreclosures nationwide.
Wow.
The average foreclosure price, $184,000. So it goes to show you. I mean, to get an average, that's a lot. Obviously, to be an average, you have to have a lot of homes within that price range. 184,000 is a decent amount of money, and it can get you a decent home in this market. So, a lot of foreclosures out there in that price range. So that goes to show you. I mean, it's not just the $30,000, the $20,000, $40,000. It's quite high. To jump off topic real quick, Powerball.
Yeah.
Powerball.
Who won?
$500-some thousand. Two people.
Missouri and
Arizona and Missouri are going to be splitting. Basically a half.
$250 million.
500. $250 million a piece.
Not so bad. Not
so bad at all. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a gambler, but I spent like $50 on tickets.
Yeah, I didn't even do it.
I mean, I'm sorry.
The odds of winning.
I wouldn't have forgave myself if I didn't try.
The odds of winning the Powerball were 1 in 175 million.
You know what? And that guy from Arizona, or woman, and guy or girl,
somebody's got to win.
Oh, somebody's got to win. And why couldn't it be me? Is what I'm trying to say.
Well,
I mean, I would have been fine if even I got 3 numbers right.
Yeah.
On all my tickets.
Yeah.
I think the most I got was 1 number on each one.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a gambler.
I'll tell you what.
I'm not a gambler.
I'll tell you what. With
so
that kind of money, I mean, you can do a lot.
You can do a lot. We were talking about that the other day. Talking about there's plenty to do.
Oh, absolutely.
So
what'd you ask me for, $150,000 loan?
Yeah, do you think that was that bad? I don't think that was bad. I asked for 150. There was something else back on 30 grand.
He made one request. one request
Yeah.
to sell me the $1 million home that I would have bought.
Yes. Yes, and that's what I said to him. I
Which
said,
is basically a $30,000 commission.
absolutely. So I said you can tack that on to the 150,000, make
you
it a
would
total
owe me.
of 180,000.
What's 130,000?
Exactly. What is exactly?
Exactly.
So,
Chump change.
Yeah.
I mean, after Uncle Sam gets it, say you got 250, depending on your taxes, you still walk away with
Oh
at
yeah.
least 200, 195.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I mean, and you're still good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can't even fathom what I would do with that money. You know what I mean? And it's the first thing that.
Swimming in it.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Well,
yep.
it's getting,
like Scrooge jumping in and going through it.
it's getting real realistic for two people in
It
those
is.
two
And
two
Kia,
areas.
congratulations.
They probably don't even know they won.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And it's probably in the 80s.
Yeah, it always is.
Young people.
I see that happen all the
It
time.
always is.
I think it's a conspiracy. It's never young people like us who can do something with the money.
I'll
It's
tell you
always
what, I'll tell
somebody
you what.
who's...
Yep.
You
Getting
listen,
ready to-
you
yep.
listen during these debates and you see how much money, what deficit our country is in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much money that they brought in just in the past couple days because of how large this lottery was?
So you're saying that we should do
And yet we're
lottery?
broke. And yet we're broke.
Do a lottery for someone to win a bedroom in the White House for the year.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
They
You know,
said
and get
that-
paid for the entire year.
They said that we've actually spent more this year, a 12% increase in shopping at Black Friday. The average person spent $426.
$400. You hear that?
Wow.
$426
And
is
it
the
was
average
longer.
spend.
Because remember, they didn't just do Black Friday. It was
Yeah, they did Thursday
Right.
and Friday.
Friday, Saturday.
Which is another thing. I mean, how do you feel about that? How do you
How do I
feel
feel?
about going into Thursday now for Black Friday?
I think that takes away from Black Friday.
Yeah, it takes away that excitement.
I think
It's like,
Thursday was meant to stay with your
yep,
family.
stay home, relax,
Cook-
get ready for the
Cook
morning.
turkey, eat turkey, drink some beers, and watch football.
Yeah.
Okay?
And then wake up in the morning,
yes.
early, and go shop.
And yes, and you know, get your food in if you want to wake up in the morning. Myself, I choose not to.
Yeah, I don't
I'm not
do
a
the
Black Friday shopper.
no.
I'm more of a procrastinator
I
shopper.
mean, you get out there on Black Friday, and what do you really see?
One time,
It's
one,
more of an
one
aggravation.
time I did this. I got out, went to Walmart. My daughter wanted the flat screen. Went to Walmart, sat in line. I think from maybe 4:30, no, maybe even 3:30, 3:30 or 4:30 in the morning. I sat in line and waited for this TV. I think I was number
And
like.
how much did you get off the TV though?
I really don't know how much the TV would have been originally, but I got it for like $250 or something like that, $179, somewhere in that range. It
I
was a
actually
while
went
ago.
Saturday to a sale at
Did you?
6:30 in the morning.
Hey,
I
well,
get my
now,
dining room
now
table.
they have Cyber Mondays.
Yeah.
You know, Black
Everybody
Friday
shop.
and Cyber
Now, how
Mondays.
much did the average person spend on
Cyber Monday? Huh?
That's where our generation is coming to, and
Yes.
where we sit on the computer at home and we don't go shopping at the store.
That brings up a hot topic that interested me.
What?
Steven does his shopping online, food shopping.
Yes, I
Food
do.
shopping
I do.
online
Yep.
at Weiss.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, I hate food shopping.
So do I.
Hate it.
So do
I hate
I.
walking through the aisles.
And you know what I
Hate it.
do? I pull up to the front of the store, I push the buzzer, they come out, they
He-
take my credit card, and they bring the
He
groceries
orders
out, load
his
them.
food online,
Yep.
sends the information to Weiss.
Mhm.
He maybe gets a time when he can pick it up.
Yep.
Goes there, maybe calls somebody.
No, it's a button.
Oh,
it's a buzzer.
I'm sorry.
They have
It's
a
even
buzzer at the
lazier.
front.
There's a
Yeah,
buzzer
there's
at
a
the
button.
front.
You don't even have to get out of the car.
Just
they
roll up,
come
eat.
out.
Yeah.
They take your credit card.
Insane.
They go and pay for it. They bring your groceries out. You pop the trunk and they put your groceries in the trunk. And
I'll tell you
leave.
what, I told my girlfriend Shelly, I don't shop, she does all the
Mhm.
shopping. I said to her, if you ever call me and ask me to go shopping,
That's what
I'm doing it online.
Yeah.
I'm
And you
buzzing
wanna-
it,
You want to know the best
bringing it
part?
out,
You
and
want
I'm
to know what
driving
the best
home.
part is? Best part.
What's the best part?
It costs $4.95.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So
It
you
costs
still-
$4.95.
So you're spending the same amount.
Yeah.
But what did they do though? They saved your time.
Mm-hmm.
You
And time.
Oh, no,
And that's worth-
time. Yeah,
Time.
saved.
How?
Now,
For I don't know about
I'll be
other
honest with
men,
you,
but for
I'll-
me,
I'll be honest with you. I don't even do laundry anymore.
Yeah.
I go, I take my basket
just
to
drop it
laundry
off,
in, drop it off. They do the clothes, they
Oh,
line
that's
everything,
great.
and I
where's
pick it up.
this?
Right here in Allentown, right up the street.
Oh,
And-
wow.
and- yeah, and they
Nice.
wash it, fold and everything. They put the nice smelly stuff in there, and it costs the same amount.
Oh,
so,
that's
So
fantastic.
like you know,
Wow.
it's about a pound. So imagine
Wow.
you watch clothes every week. I'm
Right.
sure you do. You know, so
I
I'm
do
like,
laundry
you know,
like
and at
every
first when
2
we
days.
started doing it, I was like, oh, it's gonna cost a lot of money.
Hey.
Believe it or not, it costs the same amount that you would put. You
That's
put
what I was
$20.
thinking.
You're putting quarters in. You're sitting there.
We're on our way to
I was
hit.
thinking
We're,
20.
we're on our way to the Jetsons and hit
Yes,
the button and
yes.
have our food come
Yeah.
out.
Mhm.
I just couldn't, for $4.95 to save myself from having to walk around a grocery store for an hour and a half, and my girlfriend won't come with me to go grocery shop because she hates it.
I hate it.
She hates it. She'll walk, I literally take probably about 2 hours to walk around the grocery
Listen,
store, and she's just like, just grab what you need
I
to
don't
grab.
know
and
if
just,
it's
let's
because
go.
I don't have a game plan. I don't have a game plan
Yeah.
when I go.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have
Yeah, me
notes.
either.
I don't
No,
have
I
a
don't-
syllabus. I don't have.
There's some people out there are really good at that stuff.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm not.
and hit one of them with your cart when you're in there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another thing. I don't. You know,
Yeah, I don't
I
wanna
get
deal
up
with
to the conveyor belt. You know, the cash register, and
Mhm.
you know, then I got to start being
A bag boy
Put the
and
meats,
stuff,
the
yeah.
meats,
I know,
the
what
freezer,
happened to the bag
Yeah,
freezer?
whatever happened to the
There's
bag
no bad
boy?
people anymore.
Tell you what.
Well,
I think
sometimes they
you
have
always
somebody.
bag it yourself, yeah.
Sometimes they have
I-
somebody
I-
like Corky.
Yeah,
well,
from-
yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, I was listening, not to give another shout out for Billy Erlocker,
Mhm.
you know, your show on Wednesdays.
Mhm.
But tell you what, I think he was ranting about that.
Yeah.
You know, he was very upset that they
Yes.
got rid of the bag boys.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Why should I have to
So
go
obviously
there,
he doesn't do shopping online.
pay a premium? Yeah, you know what? We should let him know that.
Oh,
We
absolutely.
should let
I think
him
we're gonna
know
call
that,
in next
yeah.
Wednesday. We're
Yeah,
gonna call in next
we
Wednesday.
are.
Let him know.
And he'll never have to worry about it again.
All right, so let's close back and get back on
Yeah,
top.
yeah, get back on. But check it out. Don't ever go shopping again. Do it online.
I mean, hey, there's some people that enjoy shopping.
They get
Shelly
away from
says
the
to me,
kids.
listen, Shelly says to me, I enjoy shopping.
Mhm.
I enjoy going down the aisles. But I said, listen, if you ever call me and you want me to pick up the meat,
Mhm.
I'm ordering the meat,
Yeah,
okay? And I'm gonna hit the button and have them bring it out.
yeah. But they do everything. They do lunch meat. They do everything
I
that
love
you could think of.
I love it.
And if the stuff isn't in that you're looking for, they'll call you up and they'll ask you if you want to substitute it for something else. You know what I mean? So it's like your own personal shopper
It's great.
for $5.
It's great. It's great.
Okay. Anyways, all right. Let's jump into some instruction on how to get your short sale going.
Okay.
First off, you're going to want to call the lender.
Call the
Clearly.
lender.
Clearly, you're going to call the lender. You're going to push until you're able to talk to somebody that's able to make a decision with the short sale. You're not going to want to talk to the real estate short sale department or the workout department for short sales. You're going to want to talk to an individual capable of making decisions. So that's your first step.
Okay.
You're then going to another huge step to help in the process is submit a letter of authorization. Lenders typically do not want to disclose any of your personal information without written authorization to do so. Meaning that if a real estate agent or if you're having somebody like a title company or a lawyer represent you, you want to write this letter giving the bank the information and authorizing in writing to give any of that personal information out to those people.
Right. Right.
You know, if you're a
And-
real
and
estate
let's-
agent, things like that.
And let's do a little bit of summary because we have a lot to cover. Now with short sales, I know there's stuff like hardship letters and
Yep. And we're gonna. That's
what he's gonna dig into here is, you know, you can't just call the bank and be late 1 month and say, hey, I want to short sell this house. I want to get out of it. I want to buy something else because I don't have enough equity, so I know I can't sell it. You know, on a normal market. So
yeah. I
you know,
mean, it's not. Yeah, exactly.
you
It's not as
can't
easy as that.
cheat the banks.
No,
you can't cheat the
You
banks.
can't.
They're very smart.
If you don't have a legitimate
Yeah,
hardship,
they're
or
gonna
you're
check bank
asking
accounts.
income
They're gonna
statements.
check, you know, paychecks, pay stubs.
So many people
tax
have mistaken
returns.
by thinking they can fool the bank.
Oh yeah.
So okay, so with that letter that you guys are going to send to the bank, you want to make sure that you include the property address, the loan reference number, your name, the date, and your agent's contact information. So
And
they
you
can
don't have
call
to
them.
remember this stuff. I mean, obviously, if you're in a
Yeah, if you're-
situation
yeah,
that
you
you're
can
going to
call
go
us.
into a short sale or think you're going to get into a short sale, you know, call us 1st
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we'll go through the whole process with you. I mean, there's even we can touch upon third-party negotiators.
Yeah.
Because now there's a lot more that out there because of so many short sales. You know, sellers are hiring and banks are actually hiring third-party negotiators.
Yeah. I mean, you can do this. You can do a short sale with absolutely no money out of your pocket. You know, the bank can pick up the tab for the third-party negotiator, or the buyer can be responsible for the third-party negotiator.
And tell you what, I would say it's 50-50.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the times, I know there's a company called Significa,
Okay.
and that company charges to the buyer a flat $3,500. That's
Okay.
paid at closing. And you know, you may ask yourself, why would a buyer pay that?
Well, it's important. I mean, getting buying a short sale is one thing, getting it approved by the bank and getting through to them is another.
And getting it done quick.
Yeah, I mean, if these are people that deal with it and this is all they do all day long, they're calling banks, trying to negotiate, trying to get the deal going.
And they're gonna that $3,500 is to basically get you the best deal possible.
Yeah. But you also want to weigh it. You want to weigh your options.
Oh,
because,
absolutely.
at the end of the day, this is general statistics, but on short sales, yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
We're on a live feed here.
I know.
Your tie's crooked. So
yeah, and I'm loosening the tie.
Oh, you're loosening it.
Yeah.
Get a little clammy.
Yeah, get a little clammy.
I noticed you don't have any product in your hair today. Not to cut you off.
I did.
These are things when I'm looking at you, we're talking, and I'm noticing. And
yeah.
You know, one thing I wanted to ask you, and I haven't for the past 2 years. You have a bald spot in your eyebrow, and I didn't understand till right now. I just looked at it. Explain.
Would you like to know what it is?
I do. It was killing me.
I had my eyebrow was pierced when I was younger.
Pierced.
When I was 17, I had a bar through it. I was a bit wild when I was young.
You learn stuff every day.
Yeah, and I ripped it out on accident one night. Yeah, so now it's scarred.
All this time, I never knew why you had a bald spot in your eyebrow.
Wait, are you talking about right here?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about over here.
No,
this is completely different.
Oh, that's
you want to hear about this one?
I want to hear
this one is great. This is a great story. This is when I was with my ex, and we were, got into an argument like we always did, and she was pregnant with my son, and we were getting ready to go to baby classes.
Baby classes?
Baby class. It was our first child, and we were going to the classes to learn how to, putting the belly on and all that stuff, that I did. But, we were getting ready to do that. We got into a fight, and they give you a binder, 3-ring binder, metal binder. It's about probably 3 inches thick with all the information on it. Yeah, with all the information on it for the, going through the pregnancy, going through having a baby and things like that. So, she's irritable. I don't know. Just to be nice to her, let's blame it on hormones.
Okay.
Just be nice and not really stomp her.
Okay. That's respectable.
I was kind of, we were arguing about something. I have no idea what at this time. It was so many years ago. But she threw the binder at me and caught me right in my eyebrow.
With precision.
Yes, with precision. Caught me in my eyebrow.
Oh, they all become
marksmans.
Marksmans.
Oh yeah, sliced my whole eyebrow.
Wow.
And actually, it's funny because her dad is
That's not too funny.
Well, it's funny now to look back on, but it wasn't too funny when that happened. I mean, I was bleeding everywhere.
Oh.
And
I've been fortunate to stay away from any relationshipal accidents.
Yeah, no, not me.
If that's a word.
Yeah. Fortunately, her dad is a nurse anesthetist, which is kind of like
that's a big word.
Yeah, it's anesthesiologist, but a step.
Right.
I don't want to say step. It's kind of like a nurse practitioner.
Right.
Position. So he had some surgical glue at the house, so we just glued it.
Some surgical glue?
Yeah, so we just glued up my eyebrow, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the story on my eyebrow.
I just had to know, and now I do, and now I'm fulfilled.
And everybody else.
I'm fulfilled.
You and everybody else know that I took a binder to the face.
Took a binder to the face.
Like a man, though. Like a man. Glued it up, shut it, and that was it.
Hey.
Went back to it.
That's great.
Went to the baby classes.
That's great.
Alright, so anyways, getting back on topic, Eric mentioned this before, you're going to want to prepare a hardship letter. The sadder the better.
The sadder the better.
The sadder the better.
Exactly.
This statement of facts describes how you got into this financial bind and makes a plea to the lender to accept less than full payment. Lenders are not inhumane and can understand if you lost your job, were hospitalized, or a truck ran over you or your entire family. So, but lenders are not particularly empathetic to situations involving dishonesty or criminal behavior. So they're real people. The banks are real people. I think a lot of people are scared to get into short sales, short sales because they think they're just a number to the bank. But they got to understand that each case is individual.
I think what needs to happen is I think a lot more buyers out there need to be better educated on foreclosures and short sales. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Whether they're interested in them or not, just so they know what they're getting into and see if it's a positive for them or see if it's a benefit to them or a non-benefit to them. Because I mean, everybody's in different situations.
Yeah. I'm looking at the time here. I don't know if we're going to make it through all of the short sale, all the foreclosure, and all the REO stuff. So what I want to let everybody know just now before we jump back into it, we're actually going to put some links up on our Facebook fan page, which is facebook.com/Reality Real Estate Radio Show. We'll put some links up there on information regarding foreclosures, REO, and HUD properties, just so you guys are, you can click on there and read the articles, and then maybe put together some questions for us.
We're summarizing a lot of this stuff, to fit it within the hour.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, the reason that we have more short sales now, and I'll give you another little statistic. They call that inventory on the market, they call that the dreaded shadow inventory.
Okay.
Yeah. And that means, it's, you have the little stickers, the orange stickers, the pink stickers, the green stickers. They're up on the they're up on the windows, basically showing their foreclosures. But that has dropped 10.2% from the earlier calendar year. And the reason for that is the banks. I mean, the banks are giving more programs, the banks are giving more leniency.
They're trying. I think the banks
are definitely trying.
I think after the recession, and not to say that we're out of the woods, but I think after the recession, what happened was the banks were so tight, and what happens is they lock down. They just shut off from the world. They lock everybody out, and what they need to do is kind of reevaluate the situation, and they need to hoard their assets, at that point, and get their mind together. And now they're starting to come and drop programs. And I know everybody wants to hate the bank, but they need their time to fix it too.
I don't know if you remember this. I mean, either it was earlier this year or last year. I think it might have been end of last year. We had the bank scandal. With Bank of America, and going through that whole situation with foreclosures and what have you. So that kind of made everything real slow, and everybody was scared. And, what do we do? So that's in the past. The election's done. We're moving forward. So I expect these numbers to continue to drop as the foreclosures. More short sales come out, which isn't a bad thing. That's the way we have to go. The foreclosures are bad. Once the foreclosures all move towards short sales, we're getting into a better situation. Then hopefully the short sales start dropping and become regular residential sales. Is obviously the end goal. So what I want you to explain the difference between an REO and a foreclosure, or are they the same?
No, a foreclosure. I mean, they're technically they're around. They're kind of the same, but they're handled differently. An REO property is already at the end. An REO property is real estate owned, meaning it's back on the books for the bank. It's being there as an asset. And as far as a foreclosure is a status that happens if the person does not choose to apply or is rejected for a short sale.
Right.
And then at that point, it's going to go into a foreclosure auction. Okay.
Right.
And then after that point, when it doesn't sell at the foreclosure auction, it's going to either be sold by the bank personally, or the bank's going to designate it to an REO company, where the real estate, meaning real estate owned, and that means that the company takes over all responsibilities for that property. Until it's sold.
So we don't have too much time left. Tell the listeners, look through some important things that maybe you feel are important to let the listeners.